Anything you want me to go?
Probably just being mindful of your
Oh, yeah.
reactions and, sort of just sort
Yeah.
of be aware people will, sleep will fluctuate, people won't be able to go to sleep,
Yeah.
a bit of diffusion here and there, and this
Mental thing.
over
Okay.
thinking.
So begin Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh, and that's my opening statement. I thought maybe what we begin with today. So one of the questions I was asked recently was, how do you cultivate gratitude? Right? I'm very good at cultivating what I would call egocentric gratitude. Right? Oh, I'm so thankful I've got a mum. I'm so thankful I've got this. I'm so thankful I've got that. And in reality, yes, there is gratitude in that, but is that really true gratitude? As a question, is that really true gratitude? And why is there a need for gratitude? Why is there a need for gratitude? So when we are consumed by stress, and within the term stress, anything that will kick off anger, fear, irritation, anxiety, greed, infatuation, um, self doubt, um, self judgment, self criticism, anything of that is under the term stress. I would use the word duk, which means suffering, that you ain't happy with the way things are, right? Just basic definition. If you're not happy the way you are feeling, you would consider that to be suffering. The nature of suffering, I'll give you an example. The cause of suffering and the nature of suffering isn't stuff out there, it's you. If you resist something, so let's say it's really sunny outside, and you are someone who finds the heat intolerable, then sitting here working out, oh, I don't want to go out there, it's going to be too hot, I don't like being hot, we create our own suffering. Yeah, just simply resisting what's out there. The same is true for ourselves. So if we come across, if sometimes you will find there's a internal conflict we get into. So you wake up with an idea, something doesn't feel right, and but you continue doing it, and that little worm keeps burrowing, burrowing, burrowing in the back. That internal conflict, that internal anguish, we can term that as suffering. Right? What else can we call suffering? Suffering is the difference between how things are and how you want them to be. That's it. If you want things to be different from the way they are, that is your suffering. And the moment you say that, you have become imprisoned. Because whatever you don't like, if I'm sitting here and thinking, God, I can't wait to get out of here, then this becomes my prison. Yeah. So we create suffering simply through the stories we tell ourselves. And the stories that you tell yourself, you believe them. That's the other thing. You actually believe everything you say about yourself to yourself. And if someone else said that to you, they'd be walking with a broken jaw. But you can say that to yourself. Now, the problem with this is, well, firstly, why do we do it? Why does life have to be such a burden? Well, it's not your doing. You're born in a space, in a society that's already sick. Their institutions are sick, their politics are sick, their religions are sick. The whole thing is perverted, it's debased, it's inhumane. Inhumane. Think about it. We live in a democracy where it's wrong to call someone by the wrong pronoun, but it's okay to send 20 billion pounds to a country many miles away so they can burn kids. They can burn people who are alive. That's what war does. They're not there to put them away, they're there to burn them, destroy them, smash them up. This is democracy? No, it's inhumane. So you're born, all of us, we are born in this inhumane social system. And this inhumanity is disguised. It's disguised by wearing the right labels and appearing to say the right things. And anyone who questions this is considered to be outside, questioning freedom of speech. You're questioning this. Yet, most of the information is censored. So, for example, let me give you over the last maybe 3, 4 weeks, places in India, Punjab, Gujarat, Bombay, Delhi, some places, 5 feet of water. 5 feet of water. You have women, bearing in mind, in places like Tahiti, India, um, poverty is extreme. When I say poverty is extreme, people live on the street. So you have women tying their children to trees so they don't get washed away. But we don't hear about that. It's going on right now, but you don't hear about it. Why? Because it's not as important as the tourists who have to leave their hotels carrying their bags and the distress that's causing them. You understand? They tell you what you need to be told. And as a result of this propaganda space, and it's everywhere, the schools are the same, the language is already, unless you're multilingual, you don't see it. If you're multilingual, you can pick it up. Language is used in a way to confine you in a particular way of thinking. Worldview creates a worldview. So, why is life, or why can life be so difficult? Well, it's because of that. And you will find that in many, many countries where you don't have these modern codes, people are generally quite happy. Yeah, life is good because we have everything. There's nothing we have to work for. The only thing we're working for is paying your debts off. Not working for your food, not working for anything. We don't need to. We live in a culture where you take something free, like water, you put it into a bottle, and then you sell it back to someone. And we live in a culture that doesn't question that. Talk about stupidity. We live in a culture now where you're taxed on your breathing. The stuff that's going on in London. Yes, it's all to do with air pollution. You use whatever words you want, but it's a tax on your breathing. It's a tax on your water. It's a tax on your food. The moment you get up, put your TV on or radio on, there's a tax. The moment you switch on your water, there's a tax. The moment you switch on your light, there's a tax. You get into your car, there's a tax. You go and buy your coffee, there's a VAT tax. Just keep going on, keep going on, keep going on, keep going on. So we live in a system that's parasitic, meaning it draws things out of you. And once you're finished, you put on the rubbish pile. So people who fought for World War One, World War Two, alive now, particularly World War Two, what facilities do they have? I recently heard from a friend of mine who works in a bank. A 92-year-old bloke came in. He can't write a letter because his hand is shaking. He has no one. He can't pay his bills because he doesn't know how to get the money out of his bank. So he's at the cashier crying his eyes out. Is this the society? A civilized society? And you can always work out how civilized a society is by one, watching how they treat their kids, and two, how they treat the elders in their community. That's it. Once the elders become disposable, they've lost wisdom. That's it. Wisdom goes. And then what that happens is the children are given a upbringing that is devoid of wisdom. So now the wisdom comes from YouTube. The wisdom comes from Insta. The wisdom comes from Facebook. The churches, the temples, all of that stuff, no, who cares? They've lost their credibility with all the stuff they've been doing with children. Where's the wisdom? So as a result, society progressively becomes more and more degenerate, more and more degenerate. How degenerate? That you can take a child, you can persuade that child that you're not the right gender, you can have them mutilated as a child, and that is progress. Ask yourself, ask yourself, can the lily ever become the rose? Of course not. Can a 22-year-old become a 60-year-old? Of course not. When reality becomes so absurd, you know they've lost it. It's only a matter of time now. So, this is where meditation becomes critical. So, a friend of mine, associate, I would say, did his PhD on some work we did on some of the mindfulness stuff that I was doing many years ago. So, he looked at some groups I was teaching, and he found, and he did a 64 questionnaire. Why do more women, at that time, just like 3, 4, 5 years ago, why do more women come to meditation in the West, whereas in the East, it's more men? Why? Because at that time, more women were interested in meditation. And the reason, and he couldn't work it out, and the reason is simple: definition of masculinity. The definition of masculinity in cultures that have wisdom is discipline, self control, self regulation. Samurai, ninjas, Nahangs, any of those law, Shaolin, any of those law. You'll find it's discipline, commitment, and self regulation. In this culture, when I say this culture, the culture that we are exposed to in everyday life, it's how drunk you get and how much you beat someone up. It's about bravado. It's about macho. It's a very different model of what masculine means. So therefore, meditation is not seen as self-discipline. Whereas in every other tradition, you begin at a very young age with meditation, men and women, so you have discipline. You discipline the mind. Then you have education about the mind, detailed information what the mind is, like you know what the leg is and what the body is and how many arteries you've got, how many veins you've got, what bones you've got, how the nervous system works. Well, you have an equally defined understanding of what the mind is, how the mind interacts with the body, psychophysiology, how the body then reacts and creates imbalance, changing your internal homeostasis, which then gives you illness. That's how it works. Sort the mind will sort the emotional space out. The emotional space will ensure that your body remains balanced. How? When you only have two kinds of feelings in reality. You have a feeling that is attractive, you have a feeling that is repulsive. That's it. You either withdraw or you go towards something. Attraction, repulsion. That's all we work on. We can call this love and we can call this fear. We can call this the opposite side of this is anger. Yeah, when you come out, anger comes out, agitation goes in, right? So we begin to realize they're only just this polarity. There's polarity, dukh, sukh, suffering or absence of suffering. As you go into suffering, so for example, you come across I don't know, You're walking down the street and you come across a dog that's growling and it's nearby. As soon as you see that, an entire change takes place. You see that, your senses tell you there's a dog, you interpret that you're under fear, under threat. Either you're going to fear or anger. Anger is to run away or to attack. Fear is to normally withdraw and run away, never attack. Anger tends to be the other way around. Now, the moment you have fear or anger, agitation, concern, any of those, your entire biology's changed. Nothing's touched you. So, without understanding what the mind is, recognizing what the mind is, you can do all that you want. You will never find peace of mind. Because peace of mind doesn't exist. You have to be outside the mind for it to be peaceful. Because the mind itself is a carnival. How can you stop a carnival? You can't. You have to step out. So meditation teaches us not to stop the mind, but to step back from the mind. Begin to learn to ignore it. So, bringing it all around. Gratitude I began with, right? So how does all of this fit with gratitude? Well, it is a really interesting Zen exercise. And the exercise begins with saying, identify all that is yours. All that is yours. And you and I can sit here and say, well, the house I live in is mine. The mobile phone I have is mine. The car I have is mine. The clothes I'm wearing is mine. But how much did you have in creating that? How much of that, does it belong to you? Is it something that can be removed from you? When you're asleep, does it belong to you? And you realize, well, no, these are all external things. Okay? Relationships are mine. When you go to sleep, where do your relationships go? Okay. This body is mine. Well, when it was in your mum, whose was it? And when the egg of your mum was in your grandmother, whose was it? So which bit is yours? You say, okay. Then breath is mine. Well, if it's yours, hold it. Let's see how long you can hold it. The hunger that you feel, is it yours or does it happen to be? Try not sleeping. Try waking up when you are asleep. And you realize that actually the whole thing is a mechanism that works by itself. You just happen to be like I, a little rider in that mechanism who has self-awareness, who is aware. Once we begin to recognize that actually nothing belongs to you, nothing is yours. If the mind is yours, then how come you can't make it peaceful? Yeah, people say, well, we can co-create. Yeah, well, when you're feeling ill, make yourself better. And you will find that these are ideas. Existence operates by itself. Meditation enables us to recognize that and recognize that we too are part of this happening, this process. And the absolute profoundness of this is that you are alive, self-aware, and are able to recognize the gift of life that you have been given. And in that gift of life, there's a duality. One day it's going to be sunny and one day it's going to be rain. You and I need to learn to recognize it, but not to become part of it. And that's the secret. To do with your thinking or to do with all the nonsense out there. Whatever you give attention to drains your power. Whatever. So if you put attention to all the madness out there, you will find that life is awful. If you put some focus to yourself, your creativity, ability to stay still, ability to move your body, look at life. Life is good. Whatever you focus on feeds it. You want to get out of it? You need to first recognize the stuff that drains you, and then you need to replace with that which nourishes you, and life changes. Yeah. So gratitude begins through the realization that even the breath does not belong to you. The heartbeat that's happening right this moment, the digestion that's happening, the kidneys that are clearing everything, the lungs that are absorbing stuff and taking out, all of that is happening without your interference, without any of your interference. Yes, you can eat and make things happen, this and the other, but the process happens by itself. These 700 trillion cells that you have, all of them are functioning by themselves and in a way that you cannot even comprehend. 100,000 different reactions take place in one cell in less than a minute, and they're all coordinated. Well, who's coordinating them? Can't coordinate a party, but who coordinates the 700 million cells? And then you begin to realize, okay, through realization, through recognizing what the nature of reality will is, you will become real. If you live in the illusion, then you'll just be bounced around. That's all there is to it. Yeah, whoever has the loudest voice, the most emotional, impacting story will just draw you in. Everyone's nonsense is not your problem. Have to recognize this. You cannot resolve the world. Let the world drown. If it's drowning, let it drown. What's your problem? You need to resolve yourself. Save yourself. Let the world sort itself out. That self responsibility allows us to move towards sovereignty. And that's where meditation takes you. Self actualization, becoming the best that you are at whatever you do. Self realization, realizing what you are not in order to realize what you are. Yeah. And then finally, self sovereignty, where you recognize that you recognize, become, you become sovereign in the way you speak, in the way you act, and the way you behave, where you are responsible for yourself, no one else. No? So, meditation isn't just about peace of mind. Gratitude, all of these other things come along the way. They're the little pathways, signposts. But without the knowledge, without the map, you can't walk the territory. So this 10, 15-minute little discourse that I do is just snippets of the territory. So I can set the map up so you know the map. And then your meditation is you walking the map. Yeah. Okay, think enough. Let's do some meditation. So as usual, you will begin first with your body. And the way I always approach this is always make sure that you follow a protocol, right? And a protocol means a certain way of doing something. So closing your eyes, if you feel comfortable, stretching, moving your back upwards. So your back is upright, it's erect, but it's not stiff, it's not rigid. But you need a good, comfortable posture. And move your focus to your shoulders. And if you just move them slightly back so that your chest feels open, but you don't want to be uncomfortable with your shoulders and they're not hunched. And as you draw your first breath in, you become aware of your body as best as you can. And all you want to do at this stage is just become aware of yourself. And you want to take a moment to notice the posture. How does the body feel? And if there's any ache or pain or tightness or itch in the body that draws your attention. And to help you do that a bit better, if you just think or imagine there's a hula hoop above your head, and as this hoop begins to descend down, it begins to scan the body for any sensation or every sensation that's present. And as you move this focus downwards, next breath in, once again, becoming aware of the body as best as you can. And see if you can notice if there's anything that draws your attention. So it could be a pain, an ache, a tightness, an itch. And all you want to do is just locate it. So you want to locate it, no commentary, no judgment. Now your intention is to be present. And the way you're going to do that is focus on things that are happening right now. So next breath in, bringing your focus now to the seat you're on. And I want you, as best as you can, notice how well you're held in place. In other words, the seat holds you. You can afford to relax, let yourself soften a bit. So you're held by the seat, totally held by your seat. And the ground beneath you, beneath your seat, holds you in place. In other words, no matter what you do, you're not going to go anywhere. And let's just locate ourselves. Notice you can only be where you are. While your mind can think about tomorrow or where else it can be, you yourself are embedded in this moment right now, and you can't escape it. And in this moment right now, all that exists with you. Every tree, every blade of grass, every star, every galaxy, every solar system, every universe, every form of life, all of that share this moment with you. Locating yourself. And you'll find that you're embedded. You're in fact embedded in the present moment. You can't move forward, you can't move backwards. Next breath in, bringing your focus now to the sensations where your body makes contact with your seat. So there are sensations within the body. From those sensations, as you breathe in, bringing your focus upwards, becoming aware of your hips. Remember, you're looking for sensations. From your knees, you allow this awareness to drift down, scanning the back of your legs, front of your legs, arriving at your ankles. And then begin to notice the feet. And then finally, moving your focus to the soles of your feet as best as you can. Next breath in once again, bringing your focus back to the seat. Notice how well you're supported, you're held. Notice that the back is straight and upright. And gently, you're going to bring your focus as you breathe in from your lower back towards your middle back. Again, you're looking for any sensation that's dominant. Once you discover something, locate it. No commentary, no judgment. From your middle back, you move up towards your shoulder blades. Notice your shoulders. See if you can soften them a bit. Allow yourself to unburden. And then gently moving your focus from your shoulders towards your elbows, from your elbows, you're moving down towards your wrists, and then becoming aware of the palms of your hands. Notice your fingers. And then on your next breath in, bringing your focus towards your eyes, notice the darkness. Recognizing awareness. And this awareness cannot be switched off. Notice even though your eyes are closed, you are still able to see or perceive darkness. Next breath out, allowing your eyes to soften. And as the breath comes in, bringing your focus towards your mouth. We begin with our lips, scanning the top lip, scanning the lower lip, and then moving your focus within your mouth. And just get a notion, the sense of the sensations that are in your mouth right now. Notice the roof of your mouth, the inside cheeks. Moving your focus on your tongue. Does your tongue feel firm? Allow it to soften. Allow your jaw to soften. And on your next breath out, you allow your face to soften. Next breath in, once again, become aware of your body as best as you can. And once again, just a quick sweep from the top all the way to the bottom, noticing anything that draws your attention. Gently bring your focus now just beneath your nose. Notice your breath. Next breath in, you're going to bring your focus towards your inner space, your thoughts, and your emotional state. Bringing your focus towards your mental space first. Do you feel alert or do you feel drowsy right now? Are you able to focus or are you distracted? Is there anything dominant within your mind? Gently move your focus now to the center of your chest. And you're going to hold your focus at the center of your chest as best as you can. And begin to watch the chest moves up as the breath comes in. And as the chest relaxes, the breath goes out. See if you can synchronize that. Noticing the breath coming in, the chest moving out. And as you relax, the chest goes down, the breath goes out. Your focus on the surface of your chest as best as you can hold it. Allowing the breath to breathe by itself. Notice the subtle sensations around your ribs. And then on your next breath in, gently moving your focus a bit deeper into yourself, right to your very center, your heart center. And see if you can hold your awareness there. And as you hold your awareness there, begin to notice how you're actually feeling. Right this moment, how do you actually feel? Do you feel comfortable? Or is this moment uncomfortable? Is this moment peaceful? Or do you feel agitated? How do you feel? Settled or unsettled? Just this moment. And on your next breath out, opening your awareness to all the sounds around you. Simply begin to listen. Allowing the sounds to come to you. You're not looking for them. You're not trying to work them out. Just listening. Gently bring your focus just beneath your nose, holding it there with a little bit of effort, watching the breath move in, watching the breath move out, allowing the breath to breathe by itself. Breathing in, you know you're breathing in. Breathing out, you know you're breathing out. Watching the in-breath move in, watching the out-breath move out, allowing the breath to breathe by itself. If you find your focus has drifted from your breath, distracted by my voice, or a thought, or a noise, notice the distraction, come back to your breath. Stay with your breath. Stay with your breath. Breathing in, you know you're breathing in. Breathing out, you know you're breathing out. Stay with your breath, allowing your breath to breathe by itself. Notice your breath has four parts to it. The in-breath has a start and an end. The out-breath has a start and an end. See if you can notice the start, end of your in-breath, start, end of your out-breath. Stay with your mind, stay with your breath. And if you find you've been distracted, notice the distraction, come back to your breath. And to allow us to get a bit deeper into this moment, begin to follow your out breath all the way till the end. And as you follow your out breath to the end, allow your body to relax a little bit further, allowing you to get deeper and deeper into the moment of now. Simply following your breath all the way out. Notice when it finishes. Allowing each out breath to draw you deeper and deeper into the moment of now. Alert yet relaxed. Following your out breath all the way till the end. Notice exactly when it finishes. Notice how your breath feels now. Does it feel light or does it feel heavy? Stay with your breath. Does your breath feel long or does it feel short? If it's long, no need to make it short. If it's short, no need to make it long. Things are the way they are. Stay with your breath. Does your breath feel fast or does it feel slow? And then bringing your focus to the sound of your breath as best as you can. Try and listen to the in breath as it comes in. Try and listen to the out breath as it goes up. Listening to the in breath, listening to the out breath as best as you can. Stay with your breath, listening with the in breath, listening to the out breath as best as you can. On your next breath out, opening your awareness to all the sounds and noises around you, including the sound of your breath. Listening, allowing the sound of the bell to move you deeper into the silence. Gently bring your focus just beneath your nose, sitting with your breath in silence. Stay with your breath, taking a moment to notice your experience. On your next breath out, gently expand your awareness, becoming aware of your whole body as best as you can. Notice how the body feels. Bringing your focus now to the seat you're on, still holding you in place. Sensations where the seat makes contact with your body. From those sensations, you move up towards your hips, gently moving down your thighs towards your knees. Remember, we're still looking for sensations. From our knees, we move down towards our ankles. Notice our feet, and then moving to the soles of your feet. Coming back to the seat you're on. Notice your back is straight and upright. Shoulders, arms, hands comfortable, relaxed. Eyes are still closed, mouth is still closed, and your face is relaxed. Bringing your focus back to your breath. And now, as the breath comes in, you sense your body. As the breath goes out, you sense your body. Breathing in, you sense your body. Breathing out, you sense your body. Breathing in, you're at peace. Breathing out, you're at peace. In a few moments, you will hear the sound of another bell. Use this sound to draw some long, slow, deep breaths in, and then in your own good time, gently opening your eyes, bringing some of that peace back with you, enjoying the silence before the bell.